All right, 3, 2, 1, and let's get into action. Welcome back to Surviving Startup.
Welcome back.
I am your host, Jamon.
And I am your host, Terry Sylvester.
I am the video marketing guy.
And I am the detailing guy.
And today we got a special episode for you that you would not want to miss. We got Brother Andre, and we're going to let him kick it up for y'all and let y'all know who he is and what he does.
I'm Brother Andre. I'm an author. I'm a speaker. I'm a resource for entrepreneurs and teen and young fathers.
Dope. Yeah. All right. So, Brother Andre.
That was a lot. What was the last part, though? Because it came off like, what'd you say? Teen
and young fathers. So any father under the age of 25, I'm here to give you the game to help you out, teach you about life, teach you about achieving strategies for success, how to make more money, workforce development, how to stay out of drama with your baby mama, all that stuff.
Yes.
Baby mama drama, it's a thing.
Life. It's life in general. That was a lot. Yeah, let's go.
All right, so that was a nice little list, bro.
Yeah, that was.
I want to try to make sure I don't miss nothing.
That's why,
I don't want to miss nothing.
But we can go from the top to the bottom.
Let's do it.
All right, so you said you're an author. What kind of books do you write?
I've been writing books for a while. I've written academic books. I've written scientific articles, legal articles. But during the pandemic, I decided to translate some of what I've learned in my life. What I didn't say is I'm a regular dude from the west side of Detroit.
Okay.
So
that's where we need to go.
That's where we need
to anybody from the D. I'm a regular dude from the west side of Detroit, but I went to school on the east side of Detroit, caught the bus from King back to over by where Cooley's at. I went to Cerveny Middle School for all my Detroiters out there, so I'm thorough. Wore the triple fat goose and the steel toes and all that. Nobody took my lunch money. I'm a regular dude from the west side of Detroit. Right? So I decided to, during the pandemic, you have more time to reflect and think on things.
Definitely.
So I wanted to write this book. Showtime Posse was about me and my friends from Detroit that went to school and our experience there and what we came through. All the names are hidden, and I will not reveal any of the names because most of us are professionals now, and we don't want to be associated with some of that stuff.
That's all you got to do. It's professional.
Right? So that's the first book, but I worked on that book for 10 years. And then I'm a lawyer by training. I'm a scientist by training. And when I graduated from law school, as I was telling you all a little bit earlier, my wife had a law firm. So she taught me the game about business law, contracts, trademarks. I got into intellectual property and patent, copyright, and eventually got into community economic development. And that's what this book is about, Freedom from the Chaos. This book, real bosses protect and trademark their brand. I see on Instagram and TikTok, you got a lot of people that's doing business on there. A lot of our people in general do a lot of business, and they just get into the business first, and then they think about this stuff second. So I wanted to make sure that we have the information. So that's why I put these books together. This book goes from business formation to business ethics, through access to capital, how to get business loans, the mental health of the entrepreneur, physical health of the entrepreneur, how to use technology in your business. So copyright and trade.
That's a lot. So I'm
definitely gonna have to connect on a deeper level.
Yeah, I don't know where you're about to go with this, bro, but I want to break that down because there's 3 different books. Doing 3 different things, and my question is, like, for the first book.
Okay, all right, I see where you're going, bro. Let me go where I'm going first, so then we can jump into the technical stuff. So we see where you at, we see what you're doing. Definitely a need for that, but where did you come from? We see where it is now. We know you came from Detroit, but what was it that made you want to be an author? What was it that made you want to be a lawyer? How did you come up out of the streets of Detroit to start become this professional. You know what I mean?
So anytime I get on the mic, I got to thank my parents, right?
Okay.
My mother and my father, because they put a lot into me, right? My father, both of them met in college, you know, but my father came up. He came up and more from poverty. My mother had a different life. She was like middle class. So by the time I came along, they were just college students. So they didn't have a lot of money. Me and my older sister came along. So I'm the oldest boy of 10 children. My sister, the only person that can say, yes, she was the champ at one point. She did put it on me, but it can't nobody else pretty much say that.
I had an older sister. Right? I know how that goes.
Right. But you know, we didn't have a horrible life, man, for most of my childhood. And then like when the 80s hit, when crack hit in Detroit, you know, I was a part of all that. You know, I mean, I experienced all of that like any regular person did in Detroit, but it wasn't all horrible. But the thing is my parents, they made sure that I focused on school, right? So I was an athlete. I played basketball, baseball. I never played football. I ran track in high school. And, you know, just dealing with regular city life, right?
Yeah.
But because I was academic, so it's a dichotomy of life. Yes, I'm from the hood, straight up.
Straight up from the hood.
Everybody that did every hood stuff, I was right there with them, right?
Yeah.
But I was the one that went to school. I was the one that did sports, so they didn't really. I didn't get pulled in like that, right? If they was going, some of my friends, man, went across the country doing all kind of stuff, right? No, Andre, we'll see you when we get back.
They push
right?
you away.
Yeah, man.
They seen something different.
Yeah, so
we was just talking about that the other night.
So I was that guy, and me and my friends, we were all a lot alike when we went to college, and we were all the smart guy from our neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
So we all came together, but we still Detroit dudes. So we went through a lot of challenges just being 20, 21, drinking St. Ives and smoking blunts and all kind of, you know, regular stuff you do when you grow up. When you grow up, right? But the one thing we did learn was that together we were strong. Like as a unit, we pretty much was unstoppable. We was unstoppable at school. We was unstoppable at all the colleges around Michigan. We was unstoppable when we went back to Detroit. We was pretty much unstoppable. And then I became a father.
Yeah.
Right? So when I became a father, the game changed because now, so for me, I went to New York. My friend got some money, bought a pound of, I don't know how clean y'all want this to be.
Go ahead.
Okay.
This is what we do.
Safe space.
All right.
Yeah, this is what we do.
He bought not quite a pound of weed, and we went to New York on the Thursday. I had a test on the following Monday, and we just went to New York. I'm in college. Now my girlfriend stay out there. That's why I went out there, because she's pregnant with my baby.
Right.
So I'm going to see my girl. But we went and kicked it in Manhattan, in the Bronx, in Brooklyn.
You was out there.
Blew all the money I had, came back, got a D on the test, and I'm like, the baby be here in 4 months. Like, I can't keep doing this.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So I went to one of the brothers, man, in college. I was a part of a organization called As One. A lot of positive black organization, and the guy said, well, you know, this is right after Malcolm X came out, the movie. He said, you know, we having a meeting, man, if you want to come by. I went by because I didn't want to be a fool for my child.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, I wanted to change and be right, because I knew I couldn't I knew I wouldn't feel right if I messed up her life. If I was just doing what I was doing, I ain't care. But when the baby looking at me and she came out a beautiful baby, you know, and the brothers helped me out. The brothers taught me how to be a man. My father was struggling with heroin at the time, and he wasn't available, though he loved me. Right?
Yeah.
But he was, you know, when you get in that battle, man,
it's a whole different.
It was a battle. He won, though. Eventually, he came out. When I was in law school, we went and found him. We went and got him. We said, Daddy, we love you. He said, I ain't think nobody loved me. He said, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try that.
Up, though.
He went to rehab, man. and beat that thing down.
But that helped you as well, though.
Oh man, the whole thing again, to see your hero come back to life.
Yeah,
keep moving.
I seen him come back to life, man. So and when he came back, all he did was help people. You see what I'm saying? He helped my uncles. He's the oldest boy of his family. So we had that in common.
Looked up to him.
Yeah, man. So, you know, to see him come back and him get through that, then I was like, you know, when I went to school, I wanted to be a doctor, but because of all this fun here, if y'all read this book, all the fun we had, my grades wasn't as good when I graduated from college. So I couldn't get into medical school. Fortunately, I met my wife. I was an MC at the time, so I was at the radio station all the time. She came up to the radio station one day, and I'm like, "Who is that?" Hold on, let me hit this beat right quick. I'm smashing them C's. So she like, well, who is that? And then anyway, we've been together ever since that night at the radio
so
station.
many things happening for women.
Yeah, man.
So
and,
your baby's pretty much changed your life, or your wife pretty much.
My daughter definitely. Her coming into this world made me run towards something positive,
something different,
and it changed my life. And I wasn't perfect. I took her to dope houses, all kind of stuff. I tell every once in a while, I did a lot of dumb stuff.
When we growing up,
I feel like we just had this conversation just the other day.
Last night, what was it? 2 nights ago?
Yeah, and the reoccurring thing though that I'm hearing from you, brother, is your system of support. And surrounding yourself with people. And I want people to hear that and really dial into it, because one of the things that we are on this podcast is not just a podcast for you to learn how to become different things in entrepreneurship, but it's to build a community of like-minded people. Because when you surround yourself with like-minded people, then that helps you go further. You like when you say like we learned that we was unstoppable, and really, I love that you said that, because that's why we trying to build this community.
In this community,
so we can be unstoppable.
And a lot of the time, people think that just because y'all are alike, y'all don't have the same background. We have the same background. Most people have the same background and they don't even know it. Whether you this color, that nation or that nation, still the same background, and they're scared to tap in. So this is a community. That's what we're trying to build. Legit.
So I'm glad to help, man, and to share my story. My mom told me recently, my father passed away in 2017. May God be pleased with him. And my mom told me to tell my story more.
Okay.
Like, because if I'd have came in here in a suit and tie, right, and if I would have approached it a little differently, the conversation might have been different. But I'm telling my story more because, like I said, man, when I turned 50. I looked around and all my dreams in my life had come true. Think about that.
I believe it.
Like everything I dreamed of as a teenager, I had attained. My daughters were adults. They were handling their business. My wife still liked me most of the time. My mama's still proud of me. You see what I'm saying? Like, so I have money. I go in the refrigerator and get whatever I want. I don't drive a Benz, but my car work. You understand what I'm saying? Like, life is good, right? So what do I do next? Right? So I learned all this stuff. I got all this stuff in my head. So let me help somebody.
So when you say at 50 you figured out everything straight, what age did you decide to switch? When was your daughter born? At what age was you when
I was 22.
22 when you had to switch and everything decided to change.
Yep. And that was a journey, so you don't instantly become perfect.
Exactly.
It's a journey.
So the reason I asked that is because we can all change. Absolutely. What I hear a lot is, I work hard. I work hard. And I always want what I see. I got a lot of older cats in life. And they got this. And I want this. And I work hard, and I be like, why don't I have this? But a lot of cats tell me, you 30 years old.
Yeah, it'll come in time.
It's levels.
You doing great. Yep. What I was doing at 30 is way not what you doing.
Right.
So what I ask that is because a lot of people they feel like it has to happen right now. It doesn't happen right now.
And that's one of a bad
we want
thing
what
about,
we can't. I mean, even with grass, like my uncle been working on his grass for 30 years, and I've been working on mine for 3, and I'm like, why my grass don't look like his? He been working on his grass for 20 years.
For sure.
Legit. And I don't care if somebody come put it here. If you got people coming to take care of it, it's gonna take 20 years for your grass to look like his.
For sure.
Period.
That's a great example.
Period.
Yep.
I have that problem. That's no lie.
I think that speaks towards anybody who really wanting to see change in their life, right? Because it does be those times where it feel like, how come I'm working so hard? More? How come I don't have this? How come? But sometimes you just need to sit back, bro. I swear, on one of the episodes that we had, like last year, I said something, and then I was talking about my mom, because my mom passed in like 2014.
Thank God be pleased.
And you was like, bro, if your mama see you now, she'd be proud. And that kind of caught me off guard, because I never took the time to sit back and just think about where I'm actually at in my life right now. Even though I'm nowhere close to where I want to be,
you think you want
I know that if my mom saw me right now, she'd be pleased.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Super pleased.
It's, my mentor, I got a mentor. I'm fortunate to have a mentor. He's 89 years old, man. He still drives his car.
That's tough.
He works out every day.
That's what's up. That's a mentor.
You understand what I'm saying? He swim. He taught. He good with it. He's been great with his money. Taught me all kind of stuff about how to spend money, how to be. Like if I have any issue, I'm very fortunate to take it to a black man that's 89 years old, and he can say, "Oh well, Andre, you might want to next time pull him aside and not try to say that in front of a lot of people, and you'll get a different reaction out of it." And I'm 50 years old. I think that I'm old, but I'm still getting guided, right? So what I learned is that in time, when I was 30, I never even thought about being 50.
Bro, I didn't even know you was 30.
It never.
No, I'm 35. But when I'm
I'm saying, right? But it never popped in my head like, what's my life gonna be when I'm over 50, right?
Yeah.
And as time passes, you're gonna get everything you. And that's the thing about us. We have to stay alive, right? If we stay alive, we'll experience a lot more things.
I love that. I love that.
But by the time I was 30, man, I was so. But by the time when we was in college here, we were so used to people getting killed that we never thought about what it is to be 35, 45, 55. You know what I'm saying? And but yeah, time passes and you get what you need, man. So now I'm on. Okay, my children grown. I got grandchildren now, right? So I got stuff. So my nuclear family, I can pass stuff on to that, but I can't not help what I see in the community because everybody ain't got a daddy.
Yeah.
Everybody don't have an uncle that's a part of their life, right?
Yeah.
So since I got this information, let me help people because it was men that I wasn't related to that helped me. You see what I'm saying? They gave me the game. Like, Andre, you should never have less than $100 in your pocket.
Yeah.
Huh? And I had like 3. I'm like, what? I should never have less than $100 in my pocket. I should never not be able to touch $1,000. What? I'm like, dang, I'm way, but but they gave me game about life.
It put them
you
seeds.
See what I'm saying?
It planted them seeds there.
So I'm just, a lot of people who go to school forget about where they came from, right? And even if me and my family, I told you I'm the oldest boy of 10 children. So the rest of my siblings didn't go to law school and married to a lawyer. You understand what I'm saying? Not that they doing bad, but so I can't not think about the rest of my family. I want everybody to come up, right? I want everybody to win. So
that's what's up.
That's dope.
That's dope. Yeah, that's dope. But go ahead. What you about to say?
No, go ahead. Because you was about to say something about the books.
Yeah, because they 3 different books from 3 different
almost angles, 3 different
angles of life. Like, so is the first book like a diary kind of deal?
No, it's a story about us, me and my team.
Story?
Yep, it's about me and my team. Yep.
Okay, and the second book, that's about brands, and like you say, I ain't gonna say nobody, but I'm gonna say 8%. 8 out of 10 people don't know about branding Whether it's
specifically trademarks, man, and how you have to.
None of that. Nobody knows about it. And even when I asked, nobody knows about that. So, what is that book? What is that doing?
So this book specifically. So I have a friend that was an author, and he was coaching me about writing my books, right? And he was like, Andre, I was doing trademarks at the time, trademark and patent applications. He said, Andre, you need to write a book about how to get a trademark. Okay. I was thinking about writing a book about teen and young fathers. He like, you could put a pause on that one. Write this book about trademark.
So that's a how-to book.
How to file a trademark application in 7 steps. Okay. It was originally an ebook, and I released it as an ebook in 2022.
And boom, here comes the content. All right, take us through it.
Yeah,
that's dope. That's dope because I love that, man.
Like break it down loosely.
Is it a lot that goes into it, or can you just chop it down real quick?
I mean, yeah, you gotta. I mean, yeah, it's a.
I know you can chop it down. He can. Chop
it's a hell.
You ain't gotta give us all 7.
Yeah,
but give us like 2.
You have to.
you gotta buy his book. You gotta buy the book to get to 7.
You gotta buy the book, right?
No, you give them a little bit of each one. That way they got to come to the book for more of it.
No, you gotta set up your account nowadays with the USPTO. You have to have a logo, right? Your logo has to go over. It has to be involved in interstate commerce. So this is teaching you how to file a federal trademark. So if you file a federal trademark, which most people are, as long as you're on social media, got a website, you surpass that interstate commerce requirement, right?
Okay.
And then you go on there, and then you have to upload your logo in a certain format. You got to describe the logo to them to make sure that nobody else has that logo. You got to do a search on a logo.
So is that something I, as a business owner, would do, or would I hire someone to do?
The purpose of this book was that you can do it as a business owner. I can change my transmission as a car driver.
Yeah.
Do I want to do it? Right?
Okay, that's that. Okay,
you understand what I'm saying?
That explains a lot.
So do I want to do? I can learn it. I can crack the book, and I can figure it out. It might take me 6 months, right?
Okay.
But you might want to save your pennies and give it to somebody who do it all the time. Then I have my car back on Tuesday.
Definitely.
You understand what I'm saying? So that's. But I wanted to break this down in 7 steps, because if you want to do it, you can do it.
Okay.
Right.
Now, is there certain things you have to have before taking that leap, like your LLC or your?
We skipped the why though. Mm-hmm. Like why? Why is this important? Why is it important to trademark?
That's a huge one.
I like that. Yeah, it's a great question.
That's a huge one.
And why? So you think about this. If you just think about music in general, right? Think about how much money our community lost in the entertainment industry. Right? You know why they lost it? Because they ain't had their intellectual property tight. They didn't have their copyright and their trademarks in place or patents. Right? So you want to protect it, because if you spend all this time, like you're doing this great podcast, you are putting your energy, blood, sweat, and tears in this. You want to make sure that your business is set up properly. You want to make sure that this logo, right, is trademarked, right? Because it's kind of sweet. And some people will see it on YouTube and be like, that's in a little stop sign thing. Oh, yeah, we're going to take that over here in Compton, right? Or something, right? You understand what I'm saying? So so you want to protect what you create, and that's the purpose. That's the purpose of having your intellectual property protected, having your logos protected, or your trade name or trade secrets. And then I went from that book to this, including the formation things, the LLC, the corporation, right? Why you want that, why you want a corporation versus an LLC, or why you want a partnership versus being a sole proprietor. And my mother was a librarian. You see these books ain't super thick. My mother was a librarian for over 20 years. She said, Andre, she said, the people that you're trying to reach, they don't come here and take out big books, right? So you can write a voluminous book if you want to, right? But the people that I'm trying to reach, the boys in the hood, they're not reading super long books. So these books aren't long on purpose.
Mom, that knowledge?
Yeah, she told me.
That's dope.
Yeah. Cause I told her I'm about to write this book, and she said don't. She said they come in and rent video. This was back when we was doing DVDs. Remember when people was bootlegging DVDs? Yeah. We made DVDs for teen and young fathers because that's the way everybody was communicating back then.
Everybody was consuming information
that way. So, yeah, that's what she told me to don't write no long book. So
that's dope. That's dope.
One of the things, hold that thought, bro. Like, because it's tying into this. Because one of the things that we say all the time is start today, not tomorrow. So one of the roadblocks that people put in their path is what they don't know.
Speaking of that, we got to trademark that.
Starting, but the more you learn, like you have to constantly be a student of whatever you're doing.
That's right.
And then you start to see this stuff like this, right? You know what I mean? Because we got a lot of stuff going on in the podcast. Like right now, we trying to restructure some things and figure some things out to make everything solidify. But and I'm in the marketing, but as far as like the trademarks and all of that, like I haven't dived into that.
And we constantly learning. That's something that's what I was just thinking. Like that's something we gotta even do because that's what things start today and not tomorrow. Now we gonna put it on shirts and everything.
So I'm almost like about to give my man a service. He ain't already got it. Like, shoot, hit my man for some consultation. How do I trademark this? You know what I mean? And no, serious talk though. Because that's how it all happens.
What was it?
It's all of this information is free information. There was a lot of times people. Hold on. A lot of times people. They be like, I just want to give just this, a little bit here, a little bit. Bro, it's people out there giving way more information for free. And just because you get the information for free, don't give you the skills to utilize that information. So I'll try to tell people, like, don't be scared to like give people as much as you know, because you can be somebody who make hair products. If you say I put this and that in my hair product, but they don't know the full process.
Right.
Then it's like they got a bunch of ingredients thinking they about to make your product. And then they're going to have to call you like, okay, what's the process though? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's the thing though, because even, what was his name? One of the, I can't think of the dude name right now from Lil Wayne owners. Birdman. He said if he would have trademark bling bling. Remember when bling bling was a thing? He said if he would have if he knew how to trademark bling bling, he wouldn't even be in the music business right now. Is what he said. And I was just because of that bling bling. You remember it? I mean, I don't know a lot of people in our age,
but it was huge.
It was huge. He didn't trademark
and they still use the term now all the time. Everywhere.
Don't even know where it comes from.
Don't even know where it comes from no more. Yep. So that's why I put together these books.
That's dope.
Specifically for that, because I'm sitting here with this stuff in my head, and I used to teach this in the projects in Miami. Like I used to teach it. I taught in law school. I taught in college. And then I got into community economic development, and I started working for a CDFI, a community development financial institution that loans money to small business owners. And I did that. I lived in Miami for about 10 years. And I was working right in the projects in Liberty City, teaching the class to people who live in the projects in Liberty City. Same thing I was teaching in law school, I was teaching in the projects in Liberty City.
So how was the recuperation and no matter where you went, did people recuperate that? Did you see difference? Did you see change?
Yeah, because people wanted the information, right? And so now that's why I got involved, and I said, okay, the law students, I can do it in law school, and that's cool. Everybody like, oh yes, I work at the law school, right? But I want, like I said, I want my people to come up. So I went back and took it where we was at. You see what I'm saying? And yeah, they did it, and they learned.
That's dope,
right? So I had all this information in my head, and I had a hell of a mentor at that job. Two of them, Leroy Jones and William Young. Black men, smart black men, man, that gave back and doing a lot for our community in Miami, and they gave me the game. You see what I'm saying? No. So since they gave me the game, I'm giving the game, based on what they taught me in that book, and that's where this comes from. And then you have technology, you know, AI coming out and everything else. People have to understand how to involve technology like you all are doing, right? Yeah. In your business. So yeah. So that's what I do, man, and I'm really trying to. So I'm back on the teen and young father stuff strong. I got a webinar coming out for them, a whole new course coming out.
That's the main thing you on.
That's so. In addition to this,
that because we didn't. We talked about the books, but with the teen and young.
Yeah, I want to make sure we get into, get into a little bit of all of it.
Yeah.
Before we switch gears to that though, the Entrepreneur book. What are the 5 most important things that you would say you need to know as an entrepreneur?
You need to form your business correctly, right? It needs to be formed correctly so that you won't have personal liability for your business.
And what does that mean?
Right?
What does that
look like? So at one point, like I told you, I come from the bottom. So I had to sell water on the corner because I ain't had no money. Literally sold bottles of water on the corner. So I didn't fill out no paperwork before I started doing that. I just was selling water on the corner. Now, if one of my bottles of water fell out my hand and a car accident happened, right, then people could sue me for my shoelaces and these old fancy glasses I have here. They could take everything I got, right, as a sole proprietor. But as a sole proprietor, I can make all the decisions. As a sole proprietor, I don't have to consult anybody else on what kind of water I want or anything else, right? So it's a trade-off. But if me and you want to sell water, right, and before I could only buy one case because I only had $5, and you got $5, now we can buy 2 cases. Yeah. So we can flip it more, right? But now you take half the liability of the partnership, right? And then you have LLCs. LLCs and I'm not gonna get into too much teaching, but they have flow through taxation like corporation. But flow through taxation like corporation. So you only get taxed once, but you don't have personal liability. The business has its own liability unless you do something so egregious, so criminal in that company that they say, well, you can't be protected by the company because you pierced the corporate veil, right? And that was when it goes to corporations. So corporations, you got S Corp, C Corp, and you have the many minds. That's the benefit of a corporation. You got more people involved. So when you got more people involved, you can pull from the talent of all these different people, right? So so formation is very important.
How do I know if I should be a sole proprietor or LLC, S Corp or C Corp?
It kind of depends on what you want to do as your business, right? It depends on, you really have to. I gotta be up. I'm sorry, I'm getting comfortable. Let me get up on the mic. You have to. It depends on what you want to do in your business. Sole proprietor, again, is benefits to all of them. They make all the decisions, right? But they have all the liability, right? LLC, if you're even if you're a single member LLC, you don't have that liability. So LLC over sole proprietor is what I would say is what I've always done. Corporation, you get the same protection. You just have more people involved, but you got more minds. So you see what I'm saying? So you got more people involved, but damn, you got more smart people, unless you get a corporation with a bunch of dumb people. but you can pull from the talent of the people. So it really depends on what you want to do. So formation is very important. And then the ethics of how you want to run your business is very important because it can get you in trouble. Right down the line, if you don't have policies in place of how your business is going to run, that can impact you. And then eventually, if your business is up and running, in a month or two, you all will be making so much money from this podcast and have so many employees that you may need a business loan because you want to have 2 more studios. You see what I'm saying? And how do you get a business loan, right? So that's a part of what I put in that book, Access to Capital, because small business owners historically, I don't know, you all remember Good Times? Yeah. You remember one episode of Good Times, JJ was trying to get a loan, and he went to the bank, and the banker was like, no, you can't get no loan. You live in the projects. You don't have nothing to, no collateral or nothing like that. But the CDFIs are community development financial institutions that give you microloans, so they give you smaller loan amounts. So everybody I want $50,000 loan. I want a $250,000 loan. You really don't even know how to handle it yet.
Yeah.
So get $5,000, pay that back. Get $10,000, pay that back, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then, so now you know how to handle it.
Yeah.
Right? So now when you go for the 250, you've had 3 loans, Andre, 30, 40, $50,000, right? So now you have business credit so that the bank can look at and say, okay, let's give this person an SBA loan, right? So that's a part of, so that's very important. And then one of the biggest parts is we talk about grinding. We got to get this money and chase this bag, but you got to take care of yourself. Right, as the entrepreneur.
Yeah,
I'm 51 years old. I did a 5K this morning, 50 pull-ups. You know what I'm saying? Like, because that's a part of it. I eat,
self-care.
I eat. You have to. You got to take mental breaks. You can't go 365 days a year. Don't let nobody fool you. You will either you'll take a vacation.
Involuntarily
or voluntarily, right? But you're gonna take a vacation, right? You see what I'm saying? So you have to take care of yourself, and you got to have some spiritual development. Whatever you believe in, like, you know, I talked about my father. My father was never a religious man, never, because he really didn't like churches and that kind of stuff. But when he got into Narcotics Anonymous, that was more like his religion. So he had a structure in his life that allowed him to achieve.
Yeah.
So whatever it is, getting to something spiritual where you can find peace, man. I've been in martial arts since I was 19. I find peace to be able to fight. So when we was out here fooling, so now I can fight, and now I ain't got to go to jail. And we bucking all the time. I loved it. I fell in love with it
everything
instantly.
about it. I hope everybody listening, because and I'm gonna say that's the #1 takeaway from this whole conversation. That last part right there.
Yeah.
Because without your mental, you don't got nothing. And most people don't understand that, and a lot of people don't know that. So it is easier to say than done. Because a lot of people don't know that, but your mental is number one.
It's so much, like you said, it's so much of that talk, like get the bag,
get the bag,
into the bag. Get into the bag.
Take a minute and breathe.
Then what, though? You know what I mean?
Take a minute and
what
breathe.
What are we doing with the bag? Why do we want the bag so bad? You know what I mean? Besides things.
Yeah.
Right.
Like your mental.
It's
get
more
that. That's the
than
biggest takeaway. It's a lot.
And we've been conditioned.
It's not,
especially in our community.
It's not our fault.
Where it's like things. Everybody is like, get to the bag, but then everybody just don't
know what to do with the bag.
You know what I mean? It's like things. Like, what are you doing? Like, it's people that don't touch so much money that could probably be millionaires by now if they did the right things with it. You know what I mean? So I think that's dope.
That mental thing, yeah. That's dope.
Financial literacy is extremely important for entrepreneurs.
All of the entrepreneurs. What was that, -- The mental?
We talked about the spiritual. We talked about physical, like working out and stuff, and eating.
We was talking about 5 things that
access to capital, bank loans, business credit, which goes into that, right? How to have business credit, and the intellectual property piece, trademark and copyright. Patents is for inventions, but copyright, anything that you, like anything that you write down.
Start today, not tomorrow.
Yeah, that should be copyright.
Yeah, right. Anything that you
especially because we're gonna be putting it on things.
That's that. You probably want to get a trademark.
Trademarked, and there's a totally difference from.
So if you want
to,
copyright is for original works of authorship. So books.
Okay.
Like if you make songs, if you're a sculptor, right? Okay. If somebody is an artist, right? Those things can be copywritten.
Does that fit into sayings?
It has to be. It just has to be put into a medium, right? So as we're talking and this stuff is recorded, the recordings that's on this podcast, copyright stuff.
That's why you have to say this song is in copyright, and when people do stuff on Facebook.
Well, I asked you that because one of the things that we always say when we finish is start today.
That's a slogan.
Tomorrow.
So that would be something that you would get trademarked.
Trademark. Okay, boom. That's what I was asking.
Okay.
Yep, that's something that you would get trademarked.
We learning. Everybody learning, bro. We learning every day. That's what we do.
Entrepreneurs so much because this was one of the things that my biggest challenge as an entrepreneur was not the I'm good with video. That wasn't it. I'm book smart, so learning the business part wasn't the hardest part. The hardest part for me was becoming an entrepreneur. And what I mean when I say that is changing who I am.
Mindset.
My mindset, the way I move, the way I think. Like, that was one of the hardest things for me. Like, what do you think is the things that people need to, first of all, that people need far as personality or internally, far as becoming an entrepreneur? Like, what do you need to be as a person to really be an entrepreneur? Because a lot of people came into COVID thinking they wanted to be entrepreneurs.
Some people, I mean, and everybody's not though. Everybody's not an entrepreneur, right? So I think that you have to be disciplined, right? You got to be disciplined, because when you're an entrepreneur, it's your business. You doing it. Who telling you to, Andre, get up at 6 o'clock? And no, my mama don't wake me up no more. I'm 51 years old. You see what I'm saying? So you have to have some discipline, be consistent, have a strategy, right? You have to be able to work with other people, because you need a team, right? You can start off being on your own, right? But eventually you need a team. You need a marketing person. You're going to need somebody to detail your car, right? You need, you know what I'm saying? You need different, you need an accountant, you need a lawyer. Let me say that again. You need an accountant and you need a lawyer. You got to have them too. And they could be contractors. They don't have to, you ain't got to give them all the money, but you need to have those on the team. So you need somebody to help you marketing. But as a person, you just need to give yourself a break and know that it don't happen overnight. Right?
Don't be so hard on yourself.
Yeah, it takes time to be an entrepreneur, man. And if you study any of the great people or the great entrepreneurs and you really read, it took them a while. It was way more failures than successes. You see it on the back end,
one step
right?
at a time.
But man, it takes, and go for it, man. You just kind of got to have a little bit of spunk in your step, a little bit of heart.
Take that leap. Take that leap of faith.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of people don't do, though.
It's that leap, because it's back there. It's back there. It tells you every day. Every time you wake up and you be like, I want to do something different.
Or it'll come in your head, I should do this.
I want to do something different.
I got this idea, I should do this.
And that is divine inspiration.
I feel
those ideas.
That's a different energy that we're tapping into.
Oh, you said it.
But that's a that's a different energy.
No, it's a frequency that you're on.
It's a different energy
you on.
And most people don't hop into that frequency. They drop themselves lower back down to where their environment is. And that's it. Yeah.
But you can get out of that if you trust. When you trust yourself and you give yourself an opportunity to expand, and you can't let other people kill your dreams, man. Because some people don't have the vision that you have. And they might be your best friend. It could be your wife. I'm not your wife, my wife. I'm saying about your. I don't want to get into a fight. Now, you said something about my. No, I'm not talking about your beautiful, lovely wife. Don't mind, right? Might inadvertently or not knowing. You might, hey, what do you think about this? And they're like, I don't know, sound dumb. And they walk out the room, and you're like, dang.
Be careful who you share your dreams with.
So you just have to be. Go for your dreams, but you got to do it in a strategic way. This is something that I've been on. You got to have a strategy. So, and to start a business, you got to have money, period. You got to have money. Either you inherited it, right? Like y'all did. Y'all inherited all this money when y'all started this podcast. or you got to have
I can give you some ways around this podcast, Phil. I can give you some ways around it.
Or you have to have a job, right? And if you got a job, you have to be systematic about how you save your money, right? How you plan this out. You can't just because the new J's came out, you can't get them, right? You can't, you got to shop at a discount place, and then, but one day if you want to be designer, you'll make $500,000 a year. Like, dang, I can get whatever I want. Then you'll make $1 million.
Sacrifice now for the later.
Yeah, man.
And a lot of people not willing to do that. I think that's where it comes from when you start to put your strategy together, you put your plan together. Then you're like, I want to go here. I want to go. Okay, I want to do this, that. All right, boom. All right, now what is it going to take to get there? Then we start backtracking where you want to be at, and then you start, that's a lot. All right, I'm going to do that. You might have to sacrifice.
A lot of sacrifice.
Sacrifice. I think another thing, and you said this early on, that you have to be studious. You got to be willing to study. So if you know that you want to be like so and so, then you need to study what it took for so and so to get there, right? Information is available.
It is.
It's information available. Think and Grow Rich, Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, right? Richest Man in Babylon. These books are available
for
right?
free.
Message to the Black Man. These books that people took time to write so that you can know what you need to know. But you got to be a student and willing to learn, and you can't be lazy.
But and on top of that, I'm gonna top in on that with it's okay to be the smartest person in a room, but when you become the smartest person in the room, understand that you have to leave that room.
That's right.
Because most people feel like they don't want to get that smart, or I don't want to be that smart. But it's okay to be the smartest person in the room. But once you realize that you are the smartest person in the room, leave that room. Because then you become dummy, in my opinion. You can't be the smartest person in the room.
I think it comes with the mindset of a person. If you realize that the only thing this is building these things, the only thing that it is information.
Information. Knowledge is
power. The only thing it is information. So once you start to think like, all right, I just need to get more information, get around the right people, then you will start to begin to see. You might didn't even know you was the smartest person or the dumbest person in the room until you start having that mindset of, I need to get information. And like just speaking to that, I just put some on my refrigerator a few weeks ago. It's the habits of poor people and the habits of wealthy people. You know what I mean? Because I'm a be wealthy, but I'm not there yet. But until then, here goes something for y'all to just see
every day,
look at. You know what I mean? Just when you going in the refrigerator every day. Like, I'm pretty sure my son done read that list a few times. You know what I mean?
Though,
besides from when I told him to read it. You know what I mean? And then once you're younger and start reading stuff, and then you start seeing stuff, then you start realizing, oh man, that was true. All these poor people just sitting around just watching
doing
TV
nothing
on Instagram
on
all
phone.
day, and you know what I mean? And it's a distraction. They want to distract us from our purpose, man.
But
they want to distract us from our purpose.
I believe we can do that. We can do different. Everybody can do different. When you wake up in the morning, it's something to tell you that say something to you in the morning. Every morning you wake up, something in the back of your head say something. Go with that thought.
So do you feel like you are in your purpose right now?
Yep, I'm always striving to be better, to improve, and not to be complacent with what I'm doing. And I almost feel like I have to do this. I mean, it's like, like
purpose.
Like what is what is it for me to, so I read way more books. So to go to law school, you got to read a lot of books. I also went to medical school for 2 years. I read a lot. I've been to school a lot. I read a lot of books in school. But the amount of books I read outside of school is at least 3 times as much books as I read in school, right? So you have to, based on all of the accumulation of knowledge I have, do I feel like I'm living in my purpose? I'm striving to be who I think I want to be. You understand what I'm saying? I don't take it lightly coming here to talk to you all on this platform. I hope some people hear something that helps them in their life. But I'm striving to live in my purpose. But it's not, but at the same time, I got to make sure I give my wife a big bag of money as much as I can, right? So I can't be so imbalanced that I want to do it the way I want to do it. So I had to figure out how to do this. So I can come here, I can sell books on the weekend, I can sell them at night before work. You understand what I'm saying? After work. But eventually, that's all I'm gonna do. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's all I'm gonna do. And I look forward to that time, because I really do enjoy serving people and helping people. I don't just talk about this because I want to hear myself talk. I don't think I'm special at all. I just think that I've lived longer than a lot of people, and I have an opportunity to pass on some of the stuff I learned, just like the people that helped me. People helped me.
It's dope that you're passing it on, though.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people don't do that. I asked that question though because I was just talking the other day, and somebody was like, I don't know, it's really my purpose, like, but I see him moving. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I say, and I think that speaks great to what you said, because it's like you're trying to do what you feel like you should do and the things that you have this desire or this passion to do. Mm-hmm. And I just feel like that's where it starts. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's where purpose starts, where it's those things that we have in our hearts, those ideas we start to have. And you remember when we had the realtor, Kyle? Mm-hmm. It was like a lot of people feel frustrated because they're not moving. And it's because you probably got something in you. You probably got something in you, inside, and it's something that you've been wanting to do or thinking about doing, or just this passion that you have, and you're not moving on it. And then life starts to get frustrated. But then I feel if anytime when I start to do more and more of the stuff that I know I wanted and needed to do, especially the stuff that I know I need to do that I wasn't completely doing, I feel more. I just feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. It just feel, everything just feel like, yeah. So definitely. So let's talk about the kids then.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to hop into. I don't know how much time we got. But,
I don't know how much. Yeah, we've been kicking it for a minute.
Yeah, let's hop into the teen. What was it?
Teen and Young Fathers.
Teen and Young Fathers.
So I started a nonprofit in 2008. Where I told you we did a lot of stuff. I was doing a lot of work in Detroit. I won the Spirit of Detroit Award. I won an award that took me all around the country. I won actually in 2015, I won the Presidential Gold Medal for volunteerism because of the work that we were doing with Teen and Young Fathers. And then I moved to Miami, and I did work in Miami with Teen and Young Fathers in the same projects all around Liberty City. Mm-hmm. And then I moved here a week before the pandemic hit, not knowing that the pandemic was gonna hit. Right. Like nobody knew. And then the world changed, and then I was in the house for 2 years, right? and then literally. And we got some things going a little bit like in 2021, and then in 2022 I just kind of I felt fatigued, and we decided to close that business officially under the name that it was under. And over the last year and a half, I just kind of it's been in me. One of the biggest things, the biggest problems that teen and young fathers would come to, they're like, okay, Andre, I used to sell dope, or I was a stick-up kid, so I need to have money. They got me on this child support. They put me on warrants. I need money, right? So I never had an answer outside of, hey, just get a job, man, and you'll be straight. Just kind of work, but I've been trying to solve that problem, and I found a solution. It's like a eureka moment. I found a solution, and the solution is this. And some of my work in community economic development, I got to look at all kinds of statistics. So in the city of Detroit, in Lansing, in Miami, the black community is #1 in poverty. They have the lowest household income and have the least assets. All of them cities, right? So how do we change that? Well, to come out of poverty, you got to have, I told you, either you inherit money or you get a job. Well, traditional college, I told you, I went to a lot of school. It took me a long time. I graduated from law school. I was 34 years old. That's a long time being in school, man. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you 20 years old, you don't want to have to do all that, that's right? Resolved. So, but they've had certifications, computer certification programs that can go for maybe 9 to 12 months, 9 to 13 months, right? Mm-hmm. Where you can get a certification, and after that certification, you can make between $70,000 and $80,000 with one cert.
With certification, when you're talking about a degree.
I ain't talking about a degree. And then you can get more certifications and make more money. And I'm not saying this.
And would you say in computer or something?
Yeah.
So that terminology, that's trigger words for a lot of people.
And I know, but this is what I want to say. This is what I want to say for all of my beloved people who spend time in the trap, right? 16 hours in the trap. Right, looking out for the stick-up kid, looking out for the crackheads or the fentanyl addicts, looking out for the police, right? You talking about you 16 hours in the trap, and then you doing that 6 to 7 days a week, right? When you really grinding, All right, that's a lot of time.
No life insurance.
Nothing. And when you stop working in the trap, guess what you got?
Nothing.
Nothing.
You see?
Right? So you can invest 9 months of your life, 9 months of your life. And if you don't know how to study, I can teach you how to study. Why? Because I taught universities, I taught in law school, I can teach you how to study. If you don't know how to study, I can teach you how to study. Listen, I figured it out. I ain't playing, man. I ain't playing this game. So you get this certification after 9 months, and now they got a lot of these certification programs. They got connections with employers that's waiting to hire people. They don't have enough people for these jobs. Cybersecurity, project management. You know, listen, in 2023 there were 7,854,000 cybersecurity jobs in the United States alone.
I love that.
Did you hear what I said?
I know what you said.
That mean that they didn't fill them jobs.
It's open.
And
right? But you can't fill it if you don't have a certification. So we sitting over here poor. We watching fights on Instagram and, you know, who can dance the best. Okay, that's cool. We need some entertainment from time to time, but take some time, invest in yourself, study for 10 months, get this one certification, make $70,000, and then if you want to be a doctor, at least you don't have to go to school broke. You can still work and go to school part-time. Now you making $70,000. You ain't in poverty. You can pay your rent. You got a car, right? So now I'm talking to the young fathers. So now you ain't got to worry about child support. Yeah, they're going to take more money if you make more money. Don't worry about it. But you're not starving, right? No. You ain't in the trap. Exactly. You ain't got to avoid the stick-up kids. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? Now you can take a breather, come up with a strategy. What do I want to do with the rest of my life? And if you don't know what you want to do, holler at your brother Andre. I'll give you some guidance, I'll give you some different options, and you can go from there. But this is what I'm on, man. I'm trying to fix the problems that we have so that we can move forward. It's gonna take some work. Now you said it's a trigger. Like I don't want to study.
No, I think it's dope,
a trigger word.
But you got
I love that. I love everything you said about that because that's how we got to move. We got to move that way.
And we can do it as a unit.
As a unit.
We can do it as a.
And to say on top of that, I don't know if it is now, but it used to be where there was they had to hire a minority. So and minorities ain't going for those jobs. So they ain't got nobody hired. So if you that minority that want to go for that job,
incentives because you
got the job.
Listen, they don't have. They got so many jobs available.
That's what I'm saying. It's so much. It's so much, and we not thinking about them. Like you.
And I'm telling you right now, Google has a certification program. I love that. $50 a month. $50 a month. How much you spend on an ounce? $50 a month, huh? Did I say that? Or fifth?
Real talk.
$50 a month, right? And you can go through this program. So if it takes 10 months, that's $500. $500. You spend that on a Friday.
Jordans.
You understand what I'm saying? $500. You spend $500 on the back end. Google got 150 employers that will take their certification for an entry-level position. What you waiting for? Just type in Google certification program. Type it into Google and see what comes up. $50 a month. Some places, if you go to the Better Business Bureau, in a lot of places, they have made arrangements so you don't got to pay nothing.
You see? I hope everybody rewind what he just said. Look, because I ain't gonna actually.
I'm pushing that part of the clip.
I'm hoping everybody rewind
because I'm gonna piggyback off you. That's so just so y'all understand, if you are new to watching this show, bro, we come from the streets too.
We come from the streets.
We come from the streets, and it's the thing about it. When you in the streets, you're always going to have setbacks. Whether it is the stick-up kid that come and rob you for your money, whether it's getting locked up,
child support, like he said, child support.
Your life is in danger constantly. Yeah. So if you think about just 9 months of your life, most people that's working, a lot of people that's working in our communities, what is the average amount that the black household bring in?
It's not that much.
It's
not.
It's under like 50. Under 30. Yeah. 30. It's like maybe like 35.
And that's tough. I was thinking closer to 50.
And it's definitely like between 30 and 35. Yep. So now you're talking about 9 months to be able to have something that's paying you twice the amount of that which will change the situation for your family. Bro, every time you get locked up, your baby mama, your mama, they got to fend for themselves. They got to come up with extra money to give you money.
I was about to ask you, but what about, I mean? Because it'd be like, care of my family.
It's like, yeah, and that's the thing.
And that's what people say, but that's
bro,
the thing.
I said the same thing.
We know how it goes.
You know what I mean?
You can't do nothing if you're locked up.
When you think about it, you really, you're not helping the situation, because at some point in time,
you're making it worse.
Something is going to happen. No life insurance. Somebody pop you. Now you dead. Now your family got to try to sell spaghetti plates to try to bury you. You know what I mean? It's like the things that we're doing is actually putting just more on our families.
Yeah,
like what your family gonna do when you locked up for 10 months? You know what I mean, bro? He talking about you about to do 9 months if you get booked.
Go ahead,
right?
Go ahead.
You gonna get 9 months if you get booked. Take off 9 months, bro.
And you gotta
invest
in yourself. Somebody to put something on your books.
Yeah,
you're expecting it, not even asking. You're expecting somebody to put something on your books.
Not even thinking about the
same
fact
person
that
you was out here helping.
What kind of situation is they in now that they got to? No, it's real.
So there's 9 months. I like that, man. I like these shirts and everything about it, man. I hope everybody rewind. That.
I mean, I'm gonna give you real quick.
That's tough.
I'm gonna give you real quick. Jewels. I got two case studies. So my uncle's more like my big brother. He's 2 years older than me. He flipped his vet. He shattered his bones in his hand and in his hip. He was working at the factory. He couldn't work at the factory no more. So he went and got on these computer certs, right? Got 2 certifications, got a job within like 45 days. Then he said, okay, I'm going to go ahead and get a bachelor's degree in this computer science stuff. Got a bachelor's degree, and now he working the whole time. So he got 4 years of experience, certifications, and a bachelor's degree. Money jumped. Then he said, you know what? I'm going to get a master's degree in this computer stuff. Now he got 12 years, 2 certs, a bachelor's degree, and a master's degree. Money jumped. Boop. He live out west. His commute is from his bedroom to his office wearing his flip-flops. And he worked 5 days a week, 40 hours, no overtime. He ain't sweating. Ain't no stick-up kids coming in his house. When he get off work, he goes to the kitchen and eat dinner. That's one. That's case study number 1. Case study number 2, he was talked into them computer search while he was healing from flipping that by my cousin. My cousin got 4 or 5 certs. He started working at a good job. He started investing in real estate, and then he opened his own tech company. He got $1 million tech company in Detroit. Started off with just these certifications. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm not saying that this just off the shooting from the hip. My cousin in Detroit, he like, Andre, man. He said, tell him about it. Yeah, scream it to him.
Love it.
Scream it to him, because if they get it, they can change their life. They can change their life within a year.
And there we go. There we go, man. That's how we can make change.
So I got a webinar. So I got this. I have a master class coming up that for my course for teen and young fathers. I'll give y'all the link, and maybe you all can post it.
The link
on this.
The link will be in the bio of this episode.
And so all the stuff that I'm doing it'll be available through the course. And I thank y'all, man, for giving me the time.
I appreciate you coming.